What's going on, world? Brian Wright here, and you're now tuned into the Brian Wright Radio Show, where we offer value in the form of content that'll help you change your mindset, change your life, and become the best version of yourself. No matter what religion, race, creed, sexual orientation, none of that stuff matters because at the end of the day, we are all the human race. My objective is to tap into this source and deliver this message, and hopefully you can take it in and you can apply something that you've learned to your life and you take it out there to the world and serve the world and leave it a better place than we found it. That is the purpose of this channel. I appreciate everybody for being here. So today is Sunday, and I remember being young and growing up, my mom used to have us in church every Sunday. Like, she didn't play that. I'm talking Sunday morning, you would get up, eat breakfast, and get ready for church. It was non-negotiable. And most people I knew growing up, their life was like that too. Non-negotiable, right? But I realized as I get older, though I don't agree with some of the stuff that I was taught growing up, I agree with the foundation of the Bible as my faith. Now, mind you, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm just saying what works for me. You don't have to do what I do, but you can draw inspiration from these stories that I tell. And when I say that it's a good foundation, it's always a place that I can go back to reference whenever I need some wisdom, whenever I need a divine answer, in my opinion. And today, I wasn't even walking for ideas today. I was just in the house and this topic popped in my mind. And the idea comes from Genesis, right? Genesis 9 through 11. So this is the story about how Adam and Eve was in the garden. And after the serpent tricked her to eat the apple, these stories are subliminal, by the way, in my opinion. They teach you stuff. It's not meant to memorize and just be able to quote it. You have to be able to process it in, break it down, and, teach it into a story. So I believe that it is stories that we can intertwine into life to make our lives better. So this is after Eve and Adam ate the fruit. And it says, Genesis 3, 9, 11. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" And he said, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself." He said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" Right? And when I was thinking about that story today, I was thinking about what was the origin of what Adam was supposed to do. What was he told to do in the beginning? He was told to dominate the earth. He was told to name all the animals and just build stuff. He wasn't told what was the difference between good and evil. He was not told that he was quote unquote naked. And when he came in the garden, when God came in the garden, he said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I hid from you because I'm naked," right? What is naked? Naked is something that you are ashamed of, right? You don't want nobody to see you naked besides probably your spouse if you're married. God said, "Who told you that?" That is the message of today. Who told you that? Because if you really look at majority of our lives, right, we start as babies in this world. We don't know the difference between light and day. We don't know the difference between right and wrong. We don't know anything. With a clean slate at that time. But it is over time that we learn these things about who we're told to be, what we are told to do. And my question to you is, when it comes to your life, who told you that you should live like that? Who told you that you can't be a millionaire? Who told you that you can't get the type of car you want? Who told you that you can't get the type of house you want? Who told you that? And if somebody never told you that, would you believe that it was a limitation? As I grow in age and getting involved in things that I want to do, whether that is music or on this mic, I am learning things about myself that I was never told growing up. I remember being told stuff like, you're not going to be this and you can't be that. His daddy's not in his life, so he doesn't have a chance. He can't go to the military. I don't see no military in him. I wouldn't be who I am today. If I would have listened to those people, I wouldn't be who I am today. And that's majority of people's problem. They're listening to people telling them who to be when those people themselves don't know who they are. They don't never take the time to tap into potential. All they do is just do what people tell them and be who people tell them to be. And then after a while, your limitations become you. I'm happy that I can change my mind at any given time and that I can be open-minded towards a subject, because that means that I might be one open-minded idea away from changing my life. And there are no limitations in my mind. Like, I'm breaking those. I'm starting to realize that you might have to be alone to do that. Because let's be real. How many people do you tell your big stuff that you want to accomplish to? They're not going to believe in you. So who does that leave to believe in themselves? So who told you that? Who told you that you couldn't do it? I want you to think about it, because if you really think about it, whatever you're struggling with right now, who told you you couldn't do it? Everybody around you. I'm going to be honest with you. Unless you got other people around you that are dreamers too, they all going to tell you why it can't be done. They all going to tell you why you shouldn't waste your time and try it. Because it's easy just to go with the crowd. Les Brown once says, he says it's lonely at the top, but he said only because it's crowded at the bottom. It's crowded down now. It's crowded with people who don't know who they are. And it shows in their results. Because the more we tap into who we are, the greater we become. The more valuable we become. The more amazing that we become. But it takes breaking through those barrier walls of self-doubt, anxiety, imposter syndrome. We all got it. I struggle with it too. Like I said, the more that I get on this mic and I just attempt to do it, it always comes out. And I'm like, see, who told you you couldn't do this again? Who told you you couldn't do a better lecture? Who told you you couldn't give a better message? Who told you that nobody wants to hear this message? And I got to get through all of it. And I got to face myself. So I'm going to end with this. Who's in your ear? If somebody is in your ear more than you, that means you're listening to the wrong person. If somebody else is trying to put an idea on you about the way you should live your life, you got the wrong friends. You got somebody around you who, when you tell them like what you want to accomplish and they just look at you crazy, that's probably not the person that you want to tell your dreams to. I ain't saying that you got to get away from them, but you just can't talk dreams and big things to them, because they're going to tell you why it can't be done. They're going to tell you that no one ever does that. No one in the family might have never done it. But once again, what are you telling you? Who told you that? This whole week, that's what I want you to think about. Ask yourself, who told me that? And you'll realize that it was somebody who was probably afraid to do what you're doing at this current moment. Chasing a dream, building something above the ordinary. It was probably a person, they never could accomplish it. So they like, if I can't accomplish it, what makes you think you can? And you can, because you have greatness in you. And I can, because I have greatness in me. But I just have to tap into it and tell myself over and over again, I am, and fill in the blank. I heard Emmett Fox say that every time you say I am, you are cashing a blank check, and it is going to deposit into the universe. And whatever you keep telling yourself you are over and over again, I am, you will become. So ensure that your I am is uplifting you and not tearing you down, because we all have heard the saying, it's in the tongue. What you say to yourself, you are either putting blessings on yourself or you are putting curses on yourself. Everything that you're saying about yourself is positive. It is absolutely true. And anybody tell you otherwise is lying to you. You can accomplish it all, but it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. All you have to do is tell yourself, I am capable. And tell yourself that over and over and over again when that voice comes in your mind. And watch what you accomplish. I appreciate y'all listening. This is the Brian Wright Radio Show. Gone.